Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today for Thursday morning, December 10th, 2020. I'm the man they call Meathead, and, Thursday mornings used to not really have much going on for me in my world, and, probably your world as well. Thursday's just one more day away from the weekend, but Thursday mornings, we always have to look forward to Dameon Nelson. Good morning, Dameon.
I'm easy like Thursday morning, Meathead. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, and, I was going to sing that, but I think, you saying easy like Thursday morning works for me.
Because I'm easy. Ooh.
Now, which version of that song? Because, there's been covers.
I'm easy like Thursday morning. Ooh. Because I'm easy. I'm easy like Thursday morning. That's all I got. I'm done. Are we through? Is that the show?
Yeah, Faith No More, one of my favorite metal bands of the 90s, did an amazing cover of that song. Go check it out, folks. Let's talk sponsors. And before we get to sponsors, I want to tell you, it's not. So Faith No More is the one that did, What Is It? What is it? It's fat. What is it? You've heard it. But they did a true faithful version of it. They didn't do a Faith No More version of it. They just did a great cover of it. So let's talk sponsors. Manscaped.com. Again, I know that you folks up in the north here, like I am, not the north like on Impact Wrestling, but in the north like I am, keep that body hair on during the winter to keep yourselves warm. Get yourself silky smooth. Get the lawnmower. Get the care package. Use the promo code PWR. Save yourself 20% and be silky smooth like our friend Dave Hero says. And then when you're freezing,
hey, that's like wait a minute, that layer you're talking about. That's like that movie that came on after Dynamite last night. Ready Layer One.
Ready Player One. Yes, that's exactly what that movie was about. It was about hairy people playing video games.
Well, that about makes sense.
And then we'll get you set up with winter gear from our friends at collarndelbowbrand.com. PWR 360 gets you 10% off. Dameon, have you got your Fanny Pack Kid 2-for pack yet?
I got a 4-for pack. I've got fanny packs all over the place.
Gotcha. It gives me the jitterbugs whenever I think about it.
I see what you did there. George Michael. Yeah. The jitterbug.
Actually, that was Wham, sir. Wham.
Who was part of Wham? George Michael and the other guy, right? So yeah. I was right.
Do you know a quick side story on Wham? And I think it's Andrew McCarthy. I might have the name wrong, but I think it's Andrew for sure.
Wait, is that guy with the communists?
No. George Michael was the singer-songwriter for that group, and he had his friend do that. To make sure he was taken care of for the rest of his life, he ended up putting his name on all the copyrights for that, so he would get royalties for the rest of his life.
He gave him producer rights, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So
he woke him up before he went.
I see what you did there. Wham! All right, ready to talk a little wrestling? We got some news. Now, 2 nights ago, on Tuesday night, Impact Wrestling had, for the first time ever, the AEW World Champion on their television. We got some ratings news on that. Did you know that viewership was obviously up on Access TV, but it didn't move the needle as much? I think they were up like 22%, a couple 100,000. But where they made their most damage, because let's be honest, Access TV is not available in all markets. A lot of people watch the show on Twitch. Dameon Nelson, they set a new record for viewership on their Impact Wrestling Twitch channel at 52,492 viewers, breaking the previous, I would say shattering, breaking the previous record of 17,000. AEW helped, but Impact moved the needle on Tuesday night.
They did. It's big. It's good. Let's see what happens long term. Overall viewership on Tuesday night on Access TV went from about 150,000 to about 225,000 from the prior week. I'm sorry, but those numbers are a mere percentage of what both AEW and NXT are doing on Wednesday nights. I'm not knocking it, but good to see the increase. Good to see the exposure. Lots of great talents on Impact Wrestling on Tuesday night. It was a great show for them to present for the new audience. Well done. It will continue to grow. That's great. There's no story here yet, though, until we figure out where this is all going, because last night on Dynamite, neither Don Callis nor Kenny Omega told us what was next.
Right, and that's where we were. I was doing that to lead into AEW from last night. The promo that we got from Don Callis and from Kenny Omega was damn near the exact same promo that we got in the bus on Tuesday night on Impact. We didn't hear anything new. We heard about how they were on
Hey,
Impact.
but no. It was dark in there though. They were both wearing their sunglasses.
Well, I mean, Omega's got a reason to wear the sunglasses because he's got a shiner over his right eye. And Callis, those weren't.
But he showed us.
Callis didn't technically have sunglasses on. He had tinted glasses on.
Hey, the only person that can wear this rose-colored glasses or the blueberry-colored glasses are one Gorilla Monsoon, and he's not going to be able to do that anymore. Look, I have my continued struggles with Kenny Omega. I don't know why. Much like the Young Bucks, something about when I look at him just says this guy annoys me, and not in a good way. And I don't know what it is. I keep telling myself to go back and watch all of his New Japan stuff, try to tell myself why he's 7 stars, why he's the best wrestler in the world or whatever. But I'm sorry, a match full of knee kicks doesn't do it for me. And that's all I've seen so far. So I'm not knocking Omega. The promo did nothing for me. Don Callis is great. I am intrigued to see where it goes from here. I don't understand the salivation that follows Kenny Omega where he goes, because maybe it's like, Edge and Christian before they cut their hair. Maybe he needs to cut his hair, because I'm sorry, that mop he's wearing and the beard and the sunglasses and like presenting himself as a star, but not really, because I don't convince myself that he is a star. Again, I get it. I understand. Keep in mind, I will preface all this by saying, or I will follow all this up by saying, I've only ever seen Kenny Omega in AEW. But here's what AEW has to think about, and Kenny Omega fans need to think about, is if you aren't following him like you have outside of AEW prior to AEW, then you don't care. And I'm that guy who doesn't care. It's like Jon Moxley when he was Dean Ambrose in WWE. Oh, Dean Ambrose, he's the best one. Oh, he's greater. He's going to be the big star. No, he was the least star of the group, because I didn't care about what Jon Moxley did before and on the indies. I cared about what he was doing on the big leagues, which is WWE. I only care about what Kenny Omega is doing on the big leagues, which is AEW, and I will give him that chance. Does he have good wrestling matches? Sure, they're good. But are they great? Not in my opinion. I still am missing that hook, that connection to understand why he's so great.
Okay. That's an opinion by Dameon Nelson. And
it's an opinion, but I want to be clear. I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking him at all. I'm just saying I understand there's more there. I just don't understand what that there is, because I don't have the desire nor energy to put forth the effort to understand that previous there, nor should I, if I'm to be drawn into this show as a new wrestling show and this is their champion. Tell me why I care. And I don't think I've been told why I care.
At that point, 100%. You're absolutely right on that. Because what a person did before they walked into the program that you're watching shouldn't matter. You're absolutely right. However, me personally, I have a contradicting opinion. I have seen this switch for me works. Okay. And, AEW doesn't tell you that it's this way, but with the 2 tunnel entrances, they tell you it's this way. Look, Kenny Omega, up until that title match, was coming out of the right tunnel, or, stage left. Kenny Omega's coming out of the other tunnel now.
Yeah, I did notice a difference last night, actually.
He has more girls
and
with
he had
brooms.
4 cleaners.
Right, exactly. More girls with brooms. Maybe for Christmas next year, they'll get dustpans.
Well, is he some kind of, does he have superpowers? Are they witches? Like the witches?
No. He's got like a Mary Maid franchise that he runs in North Carolina.
Oh, I get it. Charlotte?
No, not Charlotte. Probably in Apex. Are you okay? You seem winded by that.
I'm just, I'll just go with it. Next.
Let's talk about the man they call Sting, who is, again, me personally, and it's funny, I feel like Tony were listening to the program here last week, Thursday, when I said, is it just me, or did Tony Schiavone and then the rest of the commentary back him up have bad math? Because then Tony Schiavone, during Impact on Tuesday night,
said, 1 year or a couple months.
Tony Schiavone on Tuesday night's Impact said that, look, I haven't talked to Sting in probably 25 years.
I did catch that, yeah.
but it's funny to me. Like I said, I feel like they were listening, or somebody called them out on their poor math. So that's funny to me.
Well, what? So they add 6 years?
Right,
Still
exactly.
bad math.
Exactly.
So Schiavone was on Nitro till the end, wasn't he?
Schiavone was not on Nitro to the end. The last commentary team
really?
was Scott Hudson, Mark Madden, and Mike Tenay.
Really? I didn't realize Schiavone bowed out early.
Yeah, no, he bowed out. I mean, he was probably there because remember, the last match on Nitro was Sting and Flair.
Sting and Flair on a T-shirt. Yes, I remember.
Yeah. Well, Flair had, and we found out later on through the documentaries, Flair had lost his confidence, so he wrestled in a T-shirt on purpose because he just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
So, no, the last match was Sting and Flair. That night also saw Booker T become the 4-time or 5-time WCW champion, beating Scott Big Papa Pump Steiner. But he's, happy to see his friend. We heard the man they call Sting talk last night. And, I felt this was coming, and they led up to it with a promo earlier with Darby Allin. Do you think Sting will be a coach for Darby Allin, just like Arn Anderson, just like Taz?
Possibly. I see the connection there. I like how loosely they're going with that connection.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's loose. I think it's pretty obvious.
I think they did what they needed to with Sting. I like the interaction with he and Cody, by the way, because there's a lot of history there between the Rhodeses and Sting.
Yes.
It was good. They're doing it slow. They're building it slowly, as they are with this Omega thing and what's going to go down with Impact and AEW over the course of the next few months. I like it. It keeps me tuned in, and that's what they need to do as a program, and that's what they did successfully last night.
I think so. I think it was great to hear from the man they call Sting. And, I rewatched.
Well, there was only one problem, though, if we want to, before we wrap up Dynamite, before we get to the main event. Hey, there was not enough Ricky Starks.
He was on TV last night.
He was on TV. There was not enough Ricky Starks.
I was good with the amount of Ricky Starks I got.
Oh, you're jealous. You can't admit that he's the man you want to be. I can admit that.
No, not at all. I mean, we even had Taz's son Hook on the TV show.
Yeah, you know what? That was weird, though. And Ricky explained it, but I'm like, okay, who's this kid?
It's Hook. It's Taz's kid. Yeah.
I get it. It doesn't look like Taz. Are you sure he's... No, never mind. Go ahead.
And you get the Hook name, right, from the Red Hood district?
If you know that, yes, which they should have explained a little more, and they didn't.
Should have, and they didn't. But that's why his name is Hook. Real quick, we've got one more thing. MJF, 2-time Diamond Ring winner. The ring belongs on MJF, even though I think Orange Cassidy could have used to win it. The ring belongs on MJF because his character makes you kiss the pinky ring. So it works for me.
Yeah, they continue to do a good job in protecting, if you will, Orange Cassidy. He looked believable in that matchup. There were several times where he could have won. I thought there were a few too many false finishes.
Right, his Orange Punch is weak now. I mean, because MJF took 2.
I don't know, because it was a close call. It was a close call there. But again, their Orange was competitive. The Inner Circle was at ringside. They got involved a couple of times. That protects him, and I think that was good.
Yeah, and Miro came out and beat up everybody. I have one more question for you, and I don't want to go too far.
Shirt? Does he play soccer?
No, apparently he gets his clothes from Louis Vuitton or something.
Oh, I thought he shopped at what's that store? I loved it. They pulled out of America. Top Man.
Wait, did you just say they pulled out? Wrong show, sir. Let's try again.
Oh, you weren't watching that?
Yeah. So let's talk real quick, and I don't want to go too far down this path, but we've had more introduction of female competitors in the AEW. Even the interaction with Shaq and Brandy. I still don't care about the women's division. What can they do to make it better?
Really? Serena Deeb? She's fantastic.
I love her. But what can they do?
Fantastic.
Wait. Hold on. I'm going to propose the same question to you. Now, we know Serena Deeb. We've seen her wrestle elsewhere. But why should we know about it in AEW?
They haven't rested on her laurels, and they haven't presented her as this big deal. She came in as a competitor for the NWA Championship, and they did not make a big deal of her. That was fine. I don't need to know who she was. I need to know that she is good in the wrestling ring, and it all explains itself by how they've built her on their own programming. Contrary to what I've seen with some other stars that I need backstory or explanation of to understand why they are, quote unquote, the best in the world.
And that's what I need from the women's division. We can keep throwing all these amazing talents in there that we're told are amazing talents, but What's the story? Why are they amazing? Who are they? What do they do? I need investment on it.
I'm going to beg to differ there because they give the women's matches a ton of time. They've built a great story around Dr. Britt Baker. They've built a great story around Nyla Rose. And they have...
I would disagree on Nyla Rose, but Britt Baker, absolutely.
They have stars, if you will, in their women's division. Now, I will say that they have some splaining to do, if you will, because the backstage situation with Brandy and Jade Cargill, they tried to explain a little bit those who saved and those who came in to help. But I don't know. I think they haven't over-presented any of their female stars, and the ones that they're focused on most, they've built on their own from day one in AEW, so I think it's a bit different.
So NXT, let's move over to NXT. Now, the Prince is back, and he started off the show, Finn Balor.
He endorsed Finn Balor.
Finn Balor got you some appearance points this last weekend in the PWR draft, which you're still in third place.
Of course. You know what? Hey, I'll keep filing lawsuits. I'm winning, and the world knows I won. And I want everybody to just tune into Newsmax or OAN, and they will see I won. I mean, I was winning. It's a 1 in 1 billion chance.
Are you a Newsmax guy? Did you literally just say
in third place? And my lawyer will be doing a press conference tomorrow at the feed store on Beecher, right by Beecher Meats in Milwaukee.
Hey now, I legit popped for that one.
Well, it's on the south side.
Yeah, of course. I'm from the south side. But yeah, that's a legit pop, folks. Beecher Meats was a legitimate deli store that ran up until 1990 on the south side of Milwaukee.
Why do you have to explain it? What's not legitimate about it? Beecher Meats. Everybody knows
it. This is an international program, sir.
Milwaukee on Beecher Street. Beecher Meats.
But let's talk about Finn Balor. And Finn Balor is back. He's ready to work. He says, War Games is over. I'm ready for competition.
That's beyond.
Yep. Now I'm ready for here comes Dameon Priest. I'm ready for everybody else that comes out. But he says, you know what? I need something more. Now, Scarlett returns to NXT. And he goes, let me guess. You're going to say TikTok. And that segment's over. I love what happened right after.
Wait a minute. TLC was on the show?
No, not TLC. I love what Dameon Priest says to Scarlett. Hey, Smoke Show, next time you want to come out and announce your boyfriend, tell him to quit sitting in the car while you do all this dirty work and come out to the ring and fight. Them are fighting words, boy. I tell you what, that's one of those moments where,
Wait. So you bury the AEW women, then you start off NXT talking about the women.
No, it's not what I'm talking about. Obviously, I was talking about wrestling competitors on AEW. Scarlett right now is Karrion Kross's accompaniment. Basically, she comes to the ring with him. We haven't seen her do anything else.
Okay.
And which we got to later in the program with Dameon Priest, talking to Johnny Gargano and, everybody out there with Johnny Gargano. And here comes
new
North American champion. I loved what Karrion Kross did. He looked tough. The only thing I didn't think he looked really tough at is you're going to get in this nice, awesome-looking muscle sports car. It's automatic, man. Get a stick. Look like a man, for God's sake.
You're old school. I mean, look, I've owned a muscle car or two in my life. Screw that. They have auto stick now. You could go manual mode if you want to, but you don't have to always.
Still, I mean, nothing better than having a screw-on.
What kind of car was it? I missed that part. Was it a Camaro?
It looked like a Camaro.
Oh, God. Cliched. If you're getting a muscle car, don't get a Camaro. That's douchey. Don't get a Mustang. That's for girls. Get a Dodge Challenger. That's the only real American muscle car.
It may have been a Challenger. It's possible. It was a quick glimpse. I didn't pay too much attention.
You would know the difference between a Challenger and a Camaro, and if you don't, I'm not doing the show with you anymore.
That's 2 times a legit pop. Thank you, sir. I've always been a Corvette guy myself, but let's move on.
Oh, my God. What are you, 60?
48, sir.
Close enough.
Hey, you know what? Don't talk. I know who you went to school with, and I know how old you are, too.
Not 48.
And Dameon Priest, I want to talk real quick about this. That man is a star. How long is he on NXT?
I mean, in name alone, yeah, he sure is.
Well, the Priest part, yeah, exactly.
He's got Cornette's endorsement. Karrion Kross, Dameon Priest, Cameron Grimes. Gosh, what's the other name? Shoot.
This is a star too.
Karrion Kross.
They've
all got, along with Brandy Rhodes, I think one of the only people along MJF and AEW who has Cornette's endorsement, Jim Cornette's endorsement. That goes a long way.
Yeah, okay. Well, we've got some theme shows coming up in the next few weeks. You know, the holiday season is upon us.
What's my name?
We got some theme shows coming up. One of the things that caught my attention was AEW, not next week Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. So on the 23rd, we'll be starting at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, or at the end of the NBA basketball, because the NBA season's coming back, and we're going to get those interruptions again a couple times with NBA and AEW.
You know, this is a tough time for professional wrestling. WWE switching over to Tropicana Field and the new Thunderdome, which will look a lot like the old Thunderdome, if you will, which is fine. But it's always tricky going between, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the other holidays, and then New Year's. And AEW's announced, as you said last night, Meathead, they're going to be doing a Christmas show, if you will. And then they're going to be doing 2 New Year's Eve theme shows, and the second of which on January 6th, I believe it is, Snoop Dogg will be appearing on the show. And I think that TNT will be rebranded that night as W Balls.
What? Do that
W
again.
W Balls. You're not familiar?
I just can't
Dude,
believe
you didn't listen to Snoop's first album all the way through and the connective themes or dialogues between songs? It was all about W Balls.
How old are you?
That was 1993. It's not forever ago. It's still available on iTunes and such right now if you wanted to listen to it.
Wow.
W Balls.
Hey, speaking of iTunes, folks, make sure that you're downloading this podcast wherever you listen to. iTunes being one of them. Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. We're also on Stitcher, and we're also available. I know that there's a lot of big shows from the Pro Wrestling Report happening on Fight.tv as well. What's the news on the big show, on the Dameon Nelson, Dave Hero stuff? What do you got going in that pipeline?
We've got a special show tonight, actually. We're going to present you, with some highlights from OVW's big online pay-per-view last week, including a matchup featuring one Cal Hero.
The Fanny Pack Kid.
I got 4. I'm trying to get one more. So I can have 5 on it.
Nice. Perfect. On that note, let's wrap it up. For Dameon Nelson, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.
W Balls.